plethora of people. And you have Steve Dean, who's with me as well. He has 9 #1 hits to his credit in his career. Can you believe that? I mean, it's just amazing. And we travel on the road together as Hits and Grins. And that's how kind of we're known. And you'll be able to tell that we spend a lot of time together. But we are here today to honor the craft of songwriting, thanks to Miss Dolly. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring out my really good friends, Bill Whyte and Steve Dean. Come on out, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. You're right, Bill, it did get quiet.
Man, you all look great. The first show we did, it was a clothing optional show, and you all look good. Appreciate you covering up.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Y'all having a good time today? Opening day couldn't be, I mean, the weather's pretty good right now. When we came in, it was a little rainy, but I think it's going to be all right. How many Beatles fans are in the house? It was commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. Woo! Now, I can easily remember when it had been 20 years. And I'm thinking, 50 years, wow. Where did all the time go? So we were just looking at it, and I was showing Bill some of the pictures and stuff, and said, you know, I guess if you could blame somebody for the way I turned out, you could blame it on the Beatles. Bill goes, there's our song right there. Ready? 2, 3. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sullivan in 64 on a Zenith Black.
Her career here, playing a young Dolly. And you know, we have hopes and aspirations that Dolly, maybe she'll cut this song. It sure sounds like a Dolly song. But this song is about a trip home that I was making from Music Row to my house, which if any of you have visited Nashville, you know what the track looks like. And as our city has grown, so has our homeless population. There is more homeless people because there's more people in our city. And this particular day, this woman was on the street corner selling a paper called The Contributor. This is a paper that is written by the homeless, put together by the homeless, printed by the homeless, and then they are allowed to sell this to make some income. So I try to support the Contributor. And anyway, this particular day, this lady, I was several cars back at the stoplight, this man was walking across the crosswalk, talking on his iPhone 60, whatever it was, in an Armani suit, very, you know, wingtip shoes. It's your typical, I guess, the yin and the yang. And she didn't interrupt his call. She just held up a paper to him. Would you like to buy a paper? He swatted it out of her hand and just kept going. That image stayed with me the entire drive home. I was still thinking about it the next morning when Janelle and Steve came to the house for the writing appointment. And he was noodling around doing this thing right there. And I just looked at them and I said, man, I don't ever want to be that numb. And that's what we wrote. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to be someone who's gonna be riding shotgun while the devil is driving me. I don't want to be like the woman on the corner with her cardboard sign. Do I ever pay attention to the pain in her eyes? I don't want to be numb. Get me off this train and take me back to conversations when you didn't have to read between the lines. I still got
time. And so my little band from Missouri was recording that album, and we added a couple of players that turned out to be dandies. They were young at the time. Paul Franklin, who wins all the awards for steel guitar players these days, and DJ Fontana played drums on a couple of tracks, who played drums for Elvis all those years. So we're just kids, wide-eyed, not really knowing what we're doing, and we're in there recording. I'm nervous as it is, and we came out in the studio, and there was Dolly standing right there with a red bandana on, and she lied and said the nicest thing about her song. So, so I've never forgotten that. So as songwriters, we write every day, and your biggest hope is that, you know, if you're lucky, you'll create something from nothing one day. It goes on a paper, and you go in and record it, and then if you're lucky, some artist will like it. And the biggest thrill to me as a songwriter is to be driving down the road and hear one of your songs come on the radio. Steve has had that happen a whole lot. He's had 6, 7, 8, 9 #1 songs, which is why we despise him. But one day I was driving in Nashville, and I was listening to, of all things, the sports talk radio station, and on came a song that Steve and I had written together. And I about drove off the road because it was that exciting. And so I want to play that little song here for you. This is probably the most played song of mine that I've ever had on the radio.
Yep.
Who do you call when you need a new floor? R&S Wood Flooring, or refinish the old one that you got. R&S Wood Flooring, R&S, R&S, R&S Wood Flooring. Customer service and satisfaction. R&S Wood Flooring, R&S Wood Flooring, R&S Wood Flooring. I have arrived, folks. Yeah. Some of you laughed, but that song went plywood now. Yeah, right after we take that show to Stevens City, Virginia, where my friends are from, doing a show at a church called Faith, Love, and Laughter. I don't know where that part comes in, but they'll be here, and you will thoroughly enjoy them, I promise you. A few years ago, their daughter is Hillary Scott with Lady Antebellum, so very, very talented family. And they've got a younger daughter named Riley Jean. And a few years ago, Lang, the father, Hillary, the granddaughter, lost their grandfather and father after a battle with cancer. And they shared it on the internet, and people reached out to them, and they were so kind. And they were going to put out a little gospel CD to send to people who reached out to them and say thank you for reaching out to us. And then Hillary had a bigger idea to do a bigger record project with her major record label, and they recorded a contemporary Christian album project called Love Remains. And I got a song on there that I helped write specifically about Lang's father and Hillary's grandfather. And the great news was that album was so good, it won not 1 but 2 Grammy Awards that year.
It's so good.
So I got to hang a little Grammy certificate on my wall, all from this little song about their grandfather. And I should mention, I wrote this with Jimmy Fortune, who used to be with the Statler Brothers, and Sidney Perry, who's out on the road with Carrie Underwood, and with Hillary Scott. My papa was a big old man. He held the world and me in the palm of his hand. Held us all together. The family cornerstone. His voice was deep just like his faith. And he always called me Sugar Babe. What I wouldn't give to hear I love you one more time. Well, he loved to read John 3:16, tap along to hymns we sing. He loved us so much more than earthly things. Sometimes when there's no answer, no reason for the pain, and I just can't wrap my head around the why of things that come my way, I still believe you hold a place for us in heaven. So even when my faith on earth is shaken, you're my safe haven. He said, my home's not here, no, I'm not bound. My hope is built on higher ground. And child, where I'm a-going, goodbye don't mean a thing. Yeah, there's gonna be some things I miss, but don't forget God promises we'll be together on the other side. Sometimes when there's no answer, no reason for the pain, and I just can't wrap myself around the thought of things that come my way. Well, I still believe you hold a place for us in.
This song was out in, at the early part, about 2007. I wrote this with my friends Brian Whyte, the songwriter Brian Whyte, and Rodney Atkins himself. See if you remember this one. He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are.
Y'all know the song?
Driving through town, just my boy and me, with a Happy Meal in his booster seat, knowing that he couldn't have the toy till his nuggets were gone. A green traffic light turned straight to red. I hit my brakes and mumbled under my breath. His fries went flying and his orange drink covered his lap. Then my 4-year-old said a 4-letter word, started with S, and I was concerned. And I said, son, now where'd you learn to talk like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food, grow as tall as you are. We got cowboy boots and camo pants, yeah, we're just alike, hey, we dad. I wanna do everything you do, 'cause I've been watching you. We got back home and I went to the barn, bowed my head and I prayed real hard. Said, Lord, please help me help my stupid self. And this side of bedtime later that night, turning on my son's Scooby-Doo nightlight. He crawled out of bed and he got down on his knees. He closed his little eyes, folded his little hands, spoke to God like he was talking to a friend. I said, son, where'd you learn to pray like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are. We like fixing things and holding mama's hand, yeah, we're just alike, hey, we dad. I wanna do everything you do, 'cause I've been watching you. Tears in my eyes, I wrapped him in a hug and said, my little boys are growing up. He said, but when I'm big, I'll still know what to